Welcome to How I Unfucked My Life. I'm your host, Christine DeGrazia, registered nurse and founder of Calm by Intention. On this show, we bridge the gap between mindset and physiology. We're combining the raw grit it takes to change your life with the clinical science it takes to regulate your nervous system, because it takes more than just mindset to calm a body in survival mode. Let's get into today's episode. Hey everyone, welcome back to How I Unfucked My Life. Now I'm going to tell you what I did this past Monday. It was early, it was Monday morning, I was sitting at my desk and I was spiraling. I was spiraling because it was Monday morning and I realized I didn't have this episode ready for my editor, which should have been done Sunday morning. I realized my schedule was a mess because I had been so hyper-focused on a big talk I'm giving later this week that I let my routine system slide. My brain immediately went to that dark, familiar place, and I started saying things to myself like, how could you possibly have forgotten that? Or you can't stay consistent. Or how are you supposed to lead a brand about intention when your own morning is a disaster? I was trying to shame myself into being productive, or come up with an excuse. But then I caught it. And I remembered a line from that talk I just finished writing. You cannot hate yourself into a version of yourself that you love. You can't. It's impossible. So today, I'm not doing a Polish 5 process episode. Today, I'm talking about the shift. I'm talking about what happens when life doesn't go to plan and how the most intentional thing that you can do is stop the self-flagellation and start the adjustment. But the why. Now, why do we do this? Why is our first instinct to go straight for the jugular the second something goes wrong? Well, it's because most of us have been sold a lie that self-criticism is the same thing as accountability. We've been taught that if we hard on ourselves, we'll get lazy, we'll fail, or we'll lose our edge. We use shame as a whip to keep ourselves moving. But the truth is, most of that negative self-talk isn't even your voice. It's a remix. It's an inherited script from a hypercritical parent when you were a kid, or a teacher who didn't understand you, or an asshole partner, or how about a boss who managed through fear? You've been playing their greatest hits on a loop in your brain for so long that you've mistaken their criticism for your own conscience. And we default to that negativity because it feels safe. It's a defense mechanism. It's something we're used to. If we beat ourselves to the punch, it won't hurt as bad when the world judges us. But you can't build a life of calm on a foundation of cruelty. It's like trying to run a high-end computer on a virus-filled operating system. No matter how many productivity apps you download, the system is going to crash because the core code is broken. So when we miss a deadline, skip a workout, or lose our cool, or eat the cake, we often think that if we're hard enough on ourselves, we'll fix that behavior. We think guilt is a fuel, and we say things like, I am so stupid, I need to be more organized. I am so weak, I have zero discipline. But guilt is a low-grade fuel. It burns out fast, and it leaves a lot of soot behind. And how the hell are you supposed to feel good about moving forward when you just made yourself feel like shit and reinforced the negative beliefs you already had? And by the way, how have they been working out for you? Exactly. You have to let go of the beating yourself up. If beating yourself up worked, you'd be a lot farther in life by now. We all would. That right there should be proof that they don't work. So try this. When the script of your day shifts, like mine did on Monday, you have two choices. You can stay in the identity label where you tell yourself, I suck at this. Or you can move to the executive adjustment. And the executive adjustment says, okay, the plan changed. The deadline moved. I put my energy into a big talk that was a valid choice. Now, how do I pivot and keep moving? That pivot isn't just positive thinking. It's a data-driven shift. Because look, a positive affirmation feels like a lie if you don't believe it. So that's why we do a belief audit. When that voice tells you, I'm unorganized, or I'm a mess, or I'm stupid, I want you to put that thought on trial, literally, and ask yourself, who told me that? Where did that come from? And is that actually my truth? Or is it a ghost from 10 years ago? If the voice doesn't sound like someone who loves you and wants the best for you, it is not a voice that you are required to listen to any longer. Next, I want you to look for the evidence. Your inner critic is a lawyer building a case against you, but it's only showing you the bad evidence. You have to be the defense attorney and remind your brain of the times that you were prepared, that the times that you did show up and the goal that you just crushed. And finally, use a bridge statement. If you can't go from I'm a disaster to I'm a genius, that's okay. Just get to the bridge. Say, I am a person who is currently learning how to navigate a shifting schedule. That is a fact. That is something that the mind can wrap around. That is neutral. And that gives you the space to breathe and actually solve the problem instead of just drowning in the guilt of it. I want you to look at one area of your life right now that you feel like you're failing. I want you to listen to the words you're using to describe yourself in that failure. Are you using words like lazy, messy, inconsistent, stupid, behind, not capable, or any other derogatory words? If you are, I want you to try to shift right now. Remove the I am and replace it with the situation is. So instead of I am inconsistent, try my routine was interrupted. Instead of I am behind, try my timeline has shifted and I will adjust. When you depersonalize the chaos, you give yourself the mental space to actually solve the problem. You can't be the CEO of your life if you're too busy being the critic of your soul. So here I am. This episode might be coming to you a day late, maybe not. It might not be the perfectly produced masterclass I planned, but it's honest and it's intentional. I choose to go to the gym to clear my head and to speak to you from a place of peace rather than a place of panic, because I am choosing to love the version of myself that is human. Where do you need to give yourself a permission slip today? Where do you need to stop the hate and start the pivot? Remember, you are doing better than you think you are, but you'll never see that if you're looking through the lens of self-judgment. So choose calm, choose intention, and for heaven's sake, choose to be kind to yourself. My name is Christine DeGrazia. This is how I unfucked my life, and I'll see you on the path. If this episode hit home, hit like, subscribe, leave a comment, share it with somebody else that you think might need to hear it. We're all in this together. We're all in the game. Until next time. Thanks for listening to How I Unfucked My Life. I know the work is heavy, but remember, you aren't just fighting your brain, you're learning to lead your body. You have the grit to change your mindset, and you have the biology to find your peace. And every choice you make is a step towards the life that you deserve. So stop arguing with where you've been and start deciding where you're going. See you next time.